Greetings all into the pit viewers. It's been quiet on my front a little bit, had quite a few things to do, but we're kicking off again tonight with someone that you might know from a band called Pestilence, a Dutch death metal band that recorded quite a few very influential albums, Malleus Maleficarum, and later on Impulse, Consuming Impulse, Testimony of the Ancients, and so forth. Yes, and we're talking to original guitarist Randy Meinhard, who was part of the lineup that recorded Malleus Maleficarum. He then went on to form his own band, Sacrosanct. I've lost track of him over the many years since, but tonight we're going to do some catching up and see what it's all about these days with Sacrosanct and their upcoming new release. Stay tuned. I'm doing fine, Randy. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to talk. We've been talking quite a while. Glad it's materialized now. You have to answer one question quite quickly for me in the front before we start anything. I went to the Metal Bible, Metal Archives, because I wasn't sure. I always thought you are based in Germany, actually, but Sacrosanct is labeled under Dutch at Metal Archives. How come?
I don't know, to be honest. Even in Germany, it's really a funny story because a few days ago I was chatting with the guys of Black and Damned, our label mates, and they told me they had a chat with a guy who is organizing our show in Aalen in South Germany. And he also said, "Oh, Sacrosanct, the Dutch guys." So
I think
maybe that's something sitting between the chairs or something like that. Because in Germany, we always count as a Dutch band, and in the Netherlands, I think we are not a pure Dutch band. Maybe, I don't know. But to answer your question, I think, I'm born here in Germany, and Christian Colli was also a German. So it was we had two Germans and three Dutch people in the band, and it was always a mixture between those. So it was always a Dutch-German band or German-Dutch band, whatever you name it, whatever you call it. And maybe some remind us more as a Dutch band. I don't know.
I think it's your past affiliation catching up with you somewhere.
Yeah.
But I never thought for a second that you guys were a Dutch band, not at all. I mean, I always way back. This is decades ago. When did you start? 89, first release 90. I immediately knew that even during the Pestilence days, a topic we're not going to be able to avoid today. We're not going to spend too much time on it. But still, I was very much aware that you're going your own way and you're starting your own band, and yeah.
Yeah, maybe it also there's also the reason because Gronau, it's my birth town, it's 50 kilometers from here and directly to the Dutch border. It's directly to Amsterdam. So it was always, we always get in touch somehow. And we often visited Amsterdam, and I was living in Hengelo for about 2 years then. Also back in the days.
Back in the day.
In the 90s, in the early 90s, I was living for about 2 years in Hengelo, and then moved back to Gronau, and then to Emsland, as a close to Lingen here. So
Lingen. I'm quite familiar with Lingen. EMP.
Yeah, because of EMP merchandising. Yeah. I don't know if you EMP merchandising knows, but maybe large pop merchandising is the more common company in Rotterdam. But that was more or less a sister of EMP.
Okay, okay. I wasn't aware of that.
An affiliate, you know.
Okay. So anyway, for the viewers here, those who are not familiar with Sacrosanct, we are talking to Randy Meinhard here, was originally a member of Pestilence. And correct me if I'm wrong, you were part of the fold until the end of basically Malleus Maleficarum.
Sure. Yes.
That's it. Well, tell us a little bit about what led to you parting ways. Was it basically you would not ideally your kind of musical style? Because it was, what was it back then? It wasn't pure death metal. It was like very thrashy,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Sure.
bordering on death metal. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that was the thing at one point, you know. I mean, looking back, this is almost 40 years ago.
Isn't it
really
crazy?
quite a while, to be honest. We started when I was 16. Today I thought about that between 16 and 20. I'm born in 68. So yeah, I was between 16 and 20, and I was around about 20 when I left Pestilence. So and the early days of Pestilence. So with 16, we did some photos and stuff like that, and demos,
Wow.
and yeah, and then we also had these lineup things, and found Martin then, and everything developed from there on. And yeah, it was really an exciting time because we met due to a small letter, a small announcement by at LP, the record store, and that was how things at that time were. There was no internet, you know. It's
Little flyers.
yeah, we did obviously
Number.
flyers and or asked anybody, someone who knows someone. So that was the way it went at the time. So. Yeah, and then we had, I think we had the talk about, yeah, I think Malleus is a thrashy, has many thrashy components, and then we thought about, or Pat thought about going to more into death metal, which Consuming Impulse is, of course.
Yeah.
And it's an awesome album, honestly. I think it's really at that time it was really surprisingly in the death metal scene quite fresh and brutal, and with the voice of Martin, it was awesome.
Sorry to interrupt. I tell you what, it ranks in my top 5.
Yeah,
in that genre, bordering on definitely. It is a fantastic album. It's the guitar duels that you and Patrick are doing there. It's phenomenal. It's really great stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can imagine, and Pat was always more into the more brutal way of music, the more brutal stuff, Cryptic Slaughter and whatever they was at that time. And my range was from maybe from Kiss to Death, something like this.
More wider.
Always loved good voices. I always loved Fate's Warning, for example, especially from No Exit on. And this is also a bit of the influence. And when we wrote, or when we recorded Malleus Maleficarum back in the days, we heard a lot of Infernal Majesty, Voivod, and stuff like that, and it all influenced us somehow as a young musician, I think. And yeah, it was a great album, and the way Pestilence then from there on went is also an awesome way. They did great albums, Testimony to mention one, and next great album. And yeah, my decision was then listening to this music, and I love bands like Possessed and especially Death, for example. Not that much the Swedish stuff, more the American death metal was more my personal, or Infernal Majesty. That this
Yeah,
not particular death metal, but it was something really special, I think.
absolutely.
And I really liked that and enjoyed listening. And but it's different to do this music. Maybe it sounds, yeah, weird for the rest of your life, but I didn't want to play that the whole time. I was looking for something more that with more depth, more not that one-dimensional development. Well, don't get me wrong, Pestilence is more this really multi-dimensional because they are excellent musicians, no question, no doubt about that.
Sure.
But in the end, it's a sort of death metal and with brutal vocals, and that's what I decide not to do for the rest of my musical career. That's it.
But you know the story. I mean, even Chuck Schuldiner, his dream was always to move away from the grunt
Yeah,
and move more into almost like what used to be called power metal, like really, and what he did with Control Denied and just
exactly.
really going. I mean, the musicianship on the later Death albums was, in any case, leading in
Yeah,
that
I think
direction.
exactly. Chuck was also playing with these influences in different styles, not only in Death, also in Control Denied, especially there
So,
with the different vocals. And yeah, maybe we would have seen this development, but he died way too early. So
way too
yeah,
early. Yeah, that's correct.
yeah.
So anyway, you decided to pursue a different musical direction. I actually a couple of days ago took a spin. Like I said, I always monitored. I'd, due to the fact that I was living in Africa, I didn't always have access to all the albums. I only
No.
received magazines. We were almost like the DDR, they're like the Ostzone, and not all the music was always readily at our disposal. So I always saw the cover artworks for Truth Is What Is, Recesses for the Depraved, that kind of stuff. But it is only as of late that I could actually now, thanks to the internet, listen to the material. And but I must say, I listened to your first two albums, and your guitaring really comes through. It's amazing that it, I could actually. There are riffs where I can picture. Okay, that's a lot of Pestilence elements. Your elements came through on those albums still. But
Okay.
I detect that you moved away from that even more. You know, okay, those first two albums also reminded me a lot of Death Row
Yeah. Okay. Cool
from
band.
from
Great.
Düsseldorf. Yeah, yeah.
Love them.
Very much. I think you guys shared the same producer for a while. Could it be? Am I wrong? Kalle Trapp?
No, Calitrap did the first Pestilence album.
Yes, he did. I was almost positive he did the
We
first
we
Death Row.
we did our recordings in Siegen with where we also did all the demos and all and of course also the first two Pestilence demos. Um,
Yes. I know that. I know that you guys didn't record with Kalle again,
okay, sorry.
but it was, I think, Death Row did it in the first
Could
few
be.
years.
Wasn't it Harris Jones?
I speak under correction. I need to check that up.
Yeah,
But
okay.
anyway,
I'm not sure
look,
either, honestly.
correct me if I'm wrong. What I definitely see across your releases is a movement for me more into a very melodic style, very melodic yet heavy. And I think fans of bands like Anubis Gate, that rung a bell,
Mhm.
Pagan's Mind sometimes, really strong, melodic, powerful, what used to be called power metal. I think power metal nowadays, when people hear it, they think it's really like, "Ah," and very like Stratovarius, you know, just Halloween. But what used to be like really melodic power metal, you know, like
Yeah. Yeah,
US.
there's there I think due to the whole power metal bands, there is a new definition of power metal. And
Exactly.
yet I was also smiling seeing a comment under the YouTube video, is Sacrosanct now a power metal band? And I did an interview last week with guitarist NL that was really nice. And I was really surprised having the chance doing an interview with these guys. But yeah, because power metal is as you said, something when I hear power metal, then first names are maybe Hammerfall and so maybe Halloween stuff, like often the German bands, or yeah, some Swedish also, but something in that vein.
Yeah.
And I think that songs like Still Open Sore and even on Necropolis, like Rim Sleeper or stuff like they wouldn't come up with that idea playing such a track, writing such a music, so writing such a song,
Yes.
because not their DNA. But it's
Correct.
ours, because the thrash DNA cuts through sometimes. So and that's yeah, that's cool for us. I like that, and sometimes I sit down and tell myself let's write a fast track now. So
Mhm.
I think we also have a certain playing style, doing riffs, something like that. I personally cannot explain it, but I'm quite sure that if you put the riffs aside between Hammerfall or another power metal band and us, it's different. In what case?
Absolutely, absolutely. No, you definitely have your own style. I think there's a certain minimalism to your music as well. You don't over embellish, and that's where I see parallels to Fate's Warning, Jim Matthews. It's also always very reduced to the minimal guitar melodies, single note melodies. I mean, Avenging Angel is a perfect that. It
Mhm.
really is that, just letting the, not overcrowding it, just letting it speak.
Yeah, I really think that notes can speak for itself, you know. I mean, shredding is sort of sports. I can't do that in the style. Many can do that, and I really like what they are doing. All those,
Yeah, that's
especially all
wonderful.
those YouTube musicians, they're simply awesome. But I think covering something or doing, yeah, rehearsing each day only
Be the fastest shredder.
7 or 8 days guitar
No.
technique and stuff like that is awesome when they do it, but it's not the way I like to do music in the end. And I think it's different to cover things or do videos of other musicians and show that you also can play this
But to write an own
solos
song.
from Tucci or whatever, or write your own songs. That's exactly what I was looking for. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's a
Oh,
big difference.
absolutely. And creating an atmosphere, actually making a song breathe, and really also leaving space. And that's what I also find with a lot of these videos that I've seen. Everybody blows me away. I mean, they're mind-blowingly good. But
Yeah,
to actually write a song with a singer in mind, to actually think somebody's going to sing here, if I just plaster it full of riffs and notes, it's Malmsteen too. You don't, who's going to sing, and where's the catch for the listener? It's all good being technically really good, but at the end of the day, does somebody walk away and hum your song? For instance,
yeah,
Avenging Angel, it was in my head now the whole day.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and that's
Good. That's
that's
good.
that's a
That's how
sign
it
of,
looks.
hold on, there's actually a song that grips me. It's really
But
cool.
that's how singles work, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. But
Normally.
I'm normally a fan of the deep tracks on albums. I've discovered over the many decades. So I always end up with the deep tracks. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that. I don't know exactly who mentioned this, but I like the idea because they said this album is really not one-dimensional. It has so many, it's so multi-dimensional and so many different songs, really thrashy songs. Then Doorway, for example, is completely different. Coming of the Scorpion is a hymn
Yeah.
in the end. It's yeah, and I start writing songs with a special idea in mind. Of course, it's developing and development. From the beginning, I don't know where it ends. That's sure. But during this process, I pick. Yeah, I try to do more iterations. You know, I finish it and then I put it aside and then I get back to it on work. And that's what we will also do with the sixth album. I have almost 4.5 or maybe almost 5 songs ready, but I'm sure I will all pick them up again and get to the point and look and check out what harmonics make. Is it still good? That will be also a question. And then I will go back to work again. And then it's good to maybe have a year between this, just
And then
pressing by. Time is always good to get a different view on it.
Definitely.
And yeah, but
So-
maybe you like to listen to Skin, for example, or Truth Is What Is, or even Recesses. There are so many melodies on it. Yeah, it's with a thrashy vocal, but the approach of the guitars and what both guitarists are playing, Gerrit and I, or Michel on the first album, or also on especially on Tragic Intents, there was always much melody in our music. It was different packed. Due to the vocals, it was maybe more brutal and gets a bit to the side. But writing the songs, it was always with melody. It was completely different to Exodus or the whole American thrash bands. So
yeah, which is more like aggro in your face the whole time, almost. Yeah. There's no vocal melodies.
Yeah, also great players. No question, no doubt about that.
No. That's not to be debated. But yeah, you guys definitely lean in a different direction. And it's always what crystallizes for me is like the just to give our listeners a sort of listening reference vaguely. This doesn't mean that you guys sound like them, but it is for appreciators of Anubis Gate, Evergrey, probably early Evergrey, I would say more.
Yeah.
That kind of style, really polished, classic. Oh, Edelstahl.
Yeah, awesome, great, thank you. Yeah, Iridium did a comparison to Witherfall, and honestly, I do not know all these bands good enough. Then I pick up and listen to it.
Yeah.
Because I'm curious. I heard the name, of course, and I'm really into new music and listen to new music and try to catch up some things. I'm not the guy who's living in the past, I like do new things, to explore new things. That's in my main job, I like doing things, doing different things each day. And that's also with music. I cannot repeat myself over and over again. It makes me sick, honestly.
Yeah,
it makes me unhappy.
I think that rings true for all us creatives, really. So are you the sole songwriter, or do you guys get in a jam room and sort of hack it out? Or, I mean, everybody's got different ways of working these days, especially with, I think after COVID, the whole online shooting files back and forth exploded. I mean, how does it work for you guys?
Yeah, exactly as you said, because it was different also for us in the past, and is now again different. In the past, of course, we went into the rehearsal space and checked out and jammed together and wrote songs at that point. Recording riffs or riff tapes, we had hundreds of riff tapes and then get back and try to structure them somehow.
Yeah,
that was also cool. That was great. But today I'm now 56. Honestly, I do not have the time and
it's true.
Inspiration being in the rehearsal room each weekend. No, never. That will never happen. So and COVID was another thing, as you mentioned. So and then we had a big break. But let me say this maybe first, because we changed our way of music writing significant. It was a significant change in between the first two and then Tragic Intents, because it was exactly what you said. It's totally different writing a song with a real vocalist. It's completely different, and I need to have something in mind while I'm writing the song. It's always my second step. When this stands, it's my second step, humming or whatever, grabbing some lyrics, whatever, like the headphone did. Yeah, and do like this.
Something.
Maybe it's not perfect in the end, but it's an idea, and I record so many ideas, even with Ron. And we did the first run of Kid Ron. As you maybe know, we had it finally recorded in end of 21, also 2021. And then we split up. It was also a COVID question, and everybody got crazy, and we couldn't get along with each other, and it was really a mess for everything for everybody, I think, and everybody was quiet. Yeah, how
A
do you
tough time
say
for
it?
creatives. Yeah.
Yeah, and so yeah, and now we chat with each other. Yeah, it seems to be fine, everything, and I hope, because I'm a person who likes it more really harmonic. I don't like to over and over again talk about things and stuff like that. I have a clear vision, and yeah, if everybody say, yeah, it's fine, then let's do it. And if not, let's discuss it. It's fine, but you have to find a solution for it. That's my most important. It's my wish to do it. So, and yeah, and so it was totally different. And I think it was after Recesses, we recorded Quarantine and Mental Reincarnation, that were the bonus tracks on Recesses. And if you have a listen to this, it's quite different to the rest of Recesses, because that was planned to record later. And we did a demo for this, but we didn't get the rights for the two songs. Otherwise, they would have appeared on Recesses in the past.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So we did new songs for Recesses, but these two were planned for Recesses in the original in the back in those days. But as I said, we didn't get the permission because of these music labeling contracts, and that was the difference. And to avoid everything, we said, okay, let's do new tracks, and that was Recesses then. And from there on. And even there, we had melodic parts, and you can grab a song and always do a melody line on that. I tried it because we have to do this when we will play these songs live, because we will not have a shouter on stage. We have a vocalist on stage. And he had somehow to get along with these tracks. And so there was always a clear vocal line, but thrash singers, yeah, they sing around the clear line, they don't really care about
it's more of an instrument.
Yeah. It's not necessary that they hit every note. That's what I try to say.
But you have exceptions like Joey Belladonna, who is like, I mean,
yeah.
Wow, he's probably one of the best singers in the Big Four. No, he is the best singer in the Big Four.
It is.
He's even above James Hetfield. So,
yeah. And there are just a few bands doing really fast music and have a real vocalist. Flotsam and Jetsam, for example, is also, I think,
there's another fantastic singer. Yeah.
It's really, and even now, today, he's between 50 and 60 years, at my age round, I think, and he's in awesome shape. He's really in awesome shape. He hits every note. I saw some YouTube, and they doesn't seem to be overdubbed or stuff like that. It was really natural. It was really great. Great. Yeah, I like that. And yeah, and from there on, Tragic Intense, we changed our way of writing. Because sometimes we also came up with a vocal line, or we took care of the vocal line that comes later when we did the songs, something like that. We tried it at that point out. We mostly wrote songs as a three-piece. Both Koch brothers and me and Christian also. And it was totally different to write these tracks compared to the first two. And that was a thread that I tried to pick up when I started to write songs for Necropolis. Because, yeah, and that's another point. You mentioned it earlier. Today we are not able to meet. Max is now 2,000 kilometers from here.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Of course, we try for the live shows. We have somebody who's living in the Netherlands. That's quite close to us. But even then, for each rehearsal, we have to travel 9 hours, 4.5 back and forth. That's so in total over the weekend.
Doesn't make any sense.
9 to 10 hours. And so we start rehearsing, or we started rehearsing each 6 to 8 weeks. We always need a great preparation. Everybody has to.
So it's fruitful
at home. Yeah. Yeah.
So sorry, what are you playing there?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, with the newer material, we have all those stems, so I can give him the bass line completely isolated and stuff like that. And they have all the stems and they can mix it like they used to be and what they want to hear and play along with it. So it's quite easy. With the older stuff, it's different. Yeah, you can use software to mute the vocals a bit so that you can hear the bass line a bit more or stuff like that. You can do those isolated.
Have a bit more of a karaoke version. Yeah.
Yeah. But in the end, we have good musicians, and I always tell them, make it yours. As long as it's the same harmony and stuff like that. I don't care if there was a double or a single
triplet or whatever. Yeah.
So they are.
Yeah, but technology has made it possible. That's the amazing thing. Many years ago, it was, not too long ago, I decided to opt out of live playing because of the same reasons, because I don't have the time anymore. And back then, there was not the possibility of, okay, maybe if you really with slow internet sending files, but it would have been ridiculous. And the software has gotten better, and nowadays it's a joke. It's really easy. I think what I have a hell of a lot of respect for is people actually memorizing stuff and really just. I'm more of a band practice room person. I need to see a drummer, see a singer, and feel that before I go on stage. I love that because that's the magic. But yeah, a lot of people can cope without that and just walk onto stage at Wacken and do it. Yeah, but that's really where it's going.
I think, I mean, Jonas, for example, he's a drum teacher and he's used to play by notes. So he comes to a rehearsal and he has his pages here because he's doing hundreds of songs in a year or something, because he also played on the last Atrophy, for example. Jonas was the drummer of the newest Atrophy.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So the same drummer who's now on Kidron. No? And that's awesome. He's an amazing drummer. He's
amazing.
Yeah, he's just 31 or 32, I think. So really a young person. And yeah, he's not the guy who is playing 400 beats a minute. But he can do really lots of stuff because he has to teach that. He's also playing basics. He's also playing grooves. And I think that's a bit the magic of Jonas, because he can play really technical stuff. Amazing Roffeltiers, as you know, and it's amazing. And at the same time, he's able to groove like hell.
That's you're touching on something now that's bothered me about metal now the last 10 years is like everybody's getting so fast with the feet, and it's all but what I often miss is drummers like Vinny Appice, Tommy Elder that still do with their hands. You hear cymbals, you hear Alex Van Halen. I mean, you hear there's something happening up top because a lot of the productions, all you hear is the snare and the kick. It's just the whole time. And so I appreciate drummers that really take the time to accentuate the music and not overplay.
Yeah, I like that some of those black metal bands. You have
Yeah,
these
sure. But
those videos, this drum cam and stuff, and it's amazing what they are doing. But as you said, and let us have a short look back to the 90s, for example, 1890s, Dave Lombardo, and they all sounded not perfect. They were awesome, and they did really new things. They did really new things to the music. Um, and they developed over the time, but they didn't but try to do 400 beats a
yes,
minute. That was not their aim,
yeah.
and somehow they were able to groove. Or Tom Hunting, for example,
Also great.
totally underrated drummer. He's one of the best, I think, even in this style of music, especially. Or Gene Hoglan, for
Oh, Gene
example.
Hoglan.
He did on Symbolic and stuff. This was simply awesome.
The atomic
Uh,
clock. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, really great. Yeah, it really I appreciate music where the musicians don't kill it and
Yeah.
overdo it, and where the song can actually breathe and where you have dynamics, and obviously there is music out there that needs that kind of sheer brutality, apparently.
Yeah, sure.
But I must say, I personally don't know. Maybe I'm too old, but I don't know how more extreme it can get. It's just really out there at the moment. It's there's some new stuff where I just go, okay, listen, it's all been done before. I don't hear anything new anymore. But what I'm really missing is, and this is why albums like yours come in so welcome for me personally, just personally as a listener, and probably a lot of fans that really like this kind of music, is a good singer. Um, I went to festivals a while ago, and not just only festivals, it's just new releases. And my son is very young. He's gone into metal, and a lot of the stuff I hear is screamo. It's just always not death, not like
Yeah,
deicide. It's like
yeah,
this,
yeah. I
this
know.
and then
Those
the
big
melodic,
war.
and it's where have all the good singers gone? That's what I wonder sometimes. Where's the Tony Martin? Where's the Dougie White? Where's the, you know,
Yeah.
you'd want, or even clear vocalists like you. I mean, your singer reminds me a lot of Roy Khan sometimes.
Yeah.
That even those really glassy, clear voices with range. Timo Kotipelto, really good voices. It's very rare. Jeff Tate.
Yeah. It's funny that you mention it because Max really had this Camelot feel in mind um, um, at the end of the album before it ends, it because it has some of these harmonics.
Yeah, yeah.
And I really understood what he was saying with that, and it's really awesome. Yeah, I had the funny thing is I had the same experience. I went to with Garrett last year. It was last year, I think. No, it was 20, and by end of summer 23 or something, to the Into the Grave festival.
So
And
good.
as you mentioned, those vocalists, they had, I don't know, do not mention the band. It was really, they played great. No doubt about that. Maybe the guitarist on that side seems, a bit, he had his best day. I think he was, bored or something. He went over the stage. I didn't know where he was looking at. I don't know. Um, but they had two of these vocalists, one on the left of the stage and one on the right. And after two songs, I was totally, I had to get out. Really, I couldn't stand this permanently in your face shouting.
Yeah,
It
yeah, yeah.
I was completely. I needed a beer then, and I was
Yeah, yeah, I hear you.
way.
But
Yeah,
even those are elements, and if you use them right, then it can be a really cool thing. But if it's the whole
Yes.
time, oh no, it's just really, it's like listening to a jackhammer the whole day, you know. It's just no.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think Max is was always a great vocalist. I heard first recordings of him in 2016 on YouTube. That was the first time I heard his voice because he was testing a famous pad, an amp, a
Oh,
German
yeah,
amp.
yeah, yeah.
They also did guitars and stuff, and they had a guitar top. Um, and he was testing this for Morton Studios, and he
Yeah.
also played along with it guitar and did some vocals to it, and it was so amazing. But at that time, I was looking. I haven't found Rich yet because I didn't talk to him. He's a friend of mine and still is. But we did something together during our EMP time. It was a company band, something like that, a cover band. Just yeah, to stay in shape a bit, you know, and it was fun above that. And we played on our Xmas party and stuff like that. It was good. And he has experience for over 30 years in cover bands. He sang, he played a lot in a lot shows in his life, not
Yeah.
particularly metal, but rock, from rock on to hard rock and even country and stuff like that. And that's what maybe some people hear on Recopolis, because he's a different vocalist. He's not a classic metal vocalist who, yeah, you know what you maybe know what I'm trying to
Yeah,
say with
absolutely.
this. And Max is different. Max is sounds something. Is yeah. He sounds rough. He has an insane vocal range from the highest notes to, yeah, not the deepest notes, but somewhere in
Yeah,
between. And they can play
look at
with
that.
it, and he can do emotions. And yeah, when you fly high, this is such a great idea to go along with the lyrics, going up with his voice at that point. These are so small details that I think a real good singer picks up easily.
Yes, yes. And adding to the atmosphere and sometimes sounding a bit more aggressive and, you know, but like just more gnarly, you know.
Yeah.
So tell me, what are your plans for live shows? Anything lined up?
Yeah, we yesterday or the day before, I think. Yeah, I think it was on Tuesday. We started promoting the first shows. We will do two shows with our label mates, Black and Damned, on the 15th and 14th and 15th of March. On this Friday, they will release their new album, and we will release Kid One 1 week before that.
Okay.
So that perfectly fits. And yeah, it's South Germany, two smaller clubs, but yeah, with many metalheads. We are really looking forward.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so this will our first appearance since 2020. We did at that time we did two shows, one in Hamburg and one in Emden here in Germany on the Kuzi Fest in front of 800 people, and that was awesome with Rich.
Nice.
Yeah. And now we will, yeah, I mentioned it a bit more early because we had to find a new singer for this. That
Okay.
Max is not able to leave Kiev, of course. It's
Yeah.
obvious,
Yeah.
allowed not to leave the country. So yeah, I asked Colin from Tragic Intents. Colin Cock is back in the
Nice.
band for live purposes.
All right.
Um, and Colin, yeah, was used to sing all the older stuff in the past. He did it already, sing some older songs. Yeah.
Sorry, Randy, can I just hold you for a second? There's somebody
Yeah, yeah,
calling,
yeah, it's
just
fine.
ringing at the door. 5 seconds.
No worry, no worry.
Ja, bitte dann nur die Tür schließen. Danke. Sorry.
No
Everything.
problem.
So
No,
you're looking for someone to find, to do the live activities.
yeah, exactly.
But tell
And
me, why he can't leave Kiev because of nobody's males aren't allowed to leave the country. Is that it?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So is he being conscripted?
Sorry?
Is he being pulled into the army?
No, he's not.
Okay,
And
that's
honestly, I didn't ask what
yeah.
to do.
Let's hope
I
not.
know he is this. His family is around there, and he always said, I'm not leaving Ukraine." Even before we chat and before the war started, that wasn't the idea.
Yeah,
I knew he was.
yeah, sure.
He really liked to work in Switzerland with a guy who has a studio there for maybe 2 or 3 months at that time, and then going back again to Ukraine. So just to get new experience and record orchestras and not particular metal stuff, and
Yeah,
to write more to get more experience with everything. So that was his idea. But at the
okay.
moment, this you can imagine it's we all hope that this ends as soon as possible.
We hope so. Really, it's been going on for far too long. It's crazy.
It is.
But you've got
And
someone in your sight.
sorry?
You've got someone in your sight to fill the spot live.
Yeah, did you, Max, also played the bass on it? We had two tasks: find a singer and a bass player.
Oh shit!
That was
Yeah,
hard enough. Honestly, I planned everything as a studio project because I already knew it would be a pain, really.
it is very hard to keep 5 people going in a band. It's very hard.
Yeah, and it's even harder now, I think. And look at our size of the band. I mean, even Megadeth or Pestilence now also another lineup change, and it keep going. It keeps going. It keeps going, and we are not able to pay everyone. So it's
No, you can't.
if you
How?
like the music, then go along with us, and if you do not like, they leave. So it's that easy.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at a time where number one, the fees are very low.
Yeah.
It's big in the US where live venues are even asking a cut from the merch sales.
Yes, I heard them.
I haven't seen that yet here in Europe. Don't quote me
Yeah.
on that. I haven't seen it, but it's crazy. It's like taking the last bit that the band has, and that's
Yeah,
sad
exactly.
development.
Yeah, honestly, I paid everything. I paid the whole production. I paid the whole video stuff. And you
Yeah,
can imagine it was always almost an amount of 5 figures.
well, I
Yeah,
figured. Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
that's it. And
Easy.
even and we are really able to record our own stuff. Max is not that expensive because we are also a returning customer for him.
Yeah,
So is doing great prices for us because he did more than two albums because he also did the remastering of it, and he knows he get the jobs, and we are friends, and so no, about 10 years, and we get good prices. That's it. So,
But still,
but
Randy, to get your
he also
music
has
out
to
there and to organize everything, it costs a lot of money. It really does.
yeah, it
It's,
really is.
I can only challenge everybody. If you see, I hopefully, Randy, you need to send me your gigs coming up so I can put it underneath in the video. People, if you're in the vicinity, go see the band, support club shows. I cannot stress that enough. Festivals are great, I know, but it's the club shows that actually gets the underground going. And, you know,
Or smaller festivals that
or
do
small, or even smaller festivals.
yeah, like the Els Rock Festival, for example. That would be good to promote, especially in the Netherlands, because it's in Almelo, so it's a Dutch festival, and why not doing it there?
What is it?
Maybe
What is it called again?
the Els Rock Festival.
Else Rock. Okay.
Els Rock.
I'll include that as well. Definitely.
That would be awesome because Baling is maybe much too far away, but
Oh,
Els
yeah,
Rock
also very, yeah.
it may be nice, yeah, for your listeners or viewers.
Yeah. Is there anywhere, Randy, where I can get an overview of what you're planning, where you booked?
No, we actually do really single promotions for each club show because these clubs are also keen on being mentioned exclusively on that.
Yeah.
Also, yeah,
But
maybe later we will do
I was just wondering to put it underneath the video when I post it. Just
yeah.
watch out for these dates. If you can
Yeah,
send me something,
I will send it to you.
that'd be awesome.
Tomorrow. It's fine for you. We'll do it tomorrow.
Are you coming close to Hanover?
To Hanover. Yeah, there are two shows planned in the area of Bremen.
Yeah.
Bremen, Sulingen.
Yeah,
Sulingen is below Bremen, so more to Hanover between that,
yeah.
something like that. Let's see, because actually
Hanover is good for me, but yeah, anything above is like okay. Yeah. A bit further.
to be honest, it really stresses me to also take care of booking, you know. So we are actually looking for somebody. Actually, is doing Tim this for us. He's living in the UK. He's an awesome guy, and he knew every step we did during the last 5 years, I think, or so. And actually, we had a chat 2 days ago, and maybe we can do something different, being part of an agency or something like that. Because even if we have the show, then booking flights, then checking all those traveling, then taking care of somebody who's in that town or whatever available for you when you arrive. Yeah,
The gear has to be organized, all that stuff. Yeah, somebody has to speak to the club owners, and that's a full-time job. It's a full-time job.
Yeah, and I didn't have the contacts, and for me, it's impossible to do music, do the social media stuff, merchandise, writing songs, prepare myself for it's impossible. Also have a full-time job. So
is Mona your public relations, huh?
Sorry?
Mona is your
PR agency, a booking agency, something like that. PR is, of course, doing our label. That's PR would be the wrong word for it, but a booking agency would be the correct thing what we're looking for. So something like that, who's taking care of our bookings.
I don't know if you can sort of. I know this always sounds very naive, but just to get you guys more into the direction here of Herford. In Herford, there's an old club that used to be called X. Before, way back in the 80s, 90s, it was called Kick. But it's a big club. A lot of bands have played there. Sodom, Ghost, Destruction, Flotsam and Jetsam, all those bands have played there. It would be good for you guys to hook up with that club. Because they've recently restarted and they're really pulling bands at the moment. But obviously for you guys, it wouldn't make sense to get on bored with another band, and then so
Yeah.
I'll gladly forward your link to their booker, and maybe who do they speak
Yeah,
to?
it's almost clear. We just have to check this with Tim and the chat we had 2 days ago.
Yeah,
So then if this goes like, yeah, if everyone agrees, we are part of the agency in the future, and they
yeah,
will take care of that. And they have all those contacts
awesome.
for the show and bigger festivals especially South America and stuff like that.
Oh,
Because we are not German, we are not a classic German theme, you know. The Sacrosanct is for me, it's not. It's an international band,
yeah,
and we are not focused only here on Germany. So, and most of the people, if I look to the listeners on Spotify, it's America, it's South America, it's yeah, Holland, of course,
yeah. You need to
a
branch
bit.
out, definitely.
Yeah, but
But
it's totally
maybe it's not such a bad thing that some people think you're German, some people think you're Dutch.
exactly.
Not bad. Leave it like it is.
Exactly. Give me a second, please.
Okay.
It's our cat scratching at the door, so she wants in.
Oh, I've got three. I've got three myself.
Oh yeah, awesome.
Show her. Have you got her?
Yeah, she's looking. Come here. I see. Yeah.
Oh, they're the
Yeah.
best. Cats are great.
It's not the MacBook. It's this. You see it? See it? Huh?
Oh, I can see. I can see. I can see. Oh, she's beautiful. She's beautiful. Oh, wow. What's her name?
A mini.
Too cute.
Mini, like the opposite of Maxi.
Yeah, totally. Sweet. Wonderful. I have to conclude, Randy, killer album. I am going to spend more time with your back catalog. I must admit, over the past decades, I have not really paid it much attention. This definitely provides the necessary energy to do that.
Yeah.
Really enjoy it.
Yeah. Also, thank you, mate. It's really you can imagine it was really a hard work because I started somewhere in I think after the release of Necropolis, I directly started recording first songs. Then Rich left. Then found a new singer for this album. Then we had Ron for 2 years, and then the split, and then picking up everything again.
Yeah, that's it. It is
That was
very.
really hard. Yeah, because we completely we have rewritten all lyrics. Of course, I didn't touch the music because it's already mine music. There was no reason to do something on that, of course. But we try to avoid most as possible. So yeah, and then Per appeared on the scene. Per Albinson, who did all the vocals, all the lyrics, and he's the lyricist also for Therion, for example, among others.
Oh, wow.
And he's the master of words, I think, and that's also making Kidron a bit more stronger than something else because he really enjoyed the music. He knew all our older tracks, older albums, and he just asked what direction shall we do, of course. And even though Ron did the lyrics, I often had the track ideas. I always had a title for the tracks. I normally do this because that gives me a kind of atmosphere writing the song. No,
Absolutely. I can understand that 100%.
that it's called like this. Maybe it's different than later on, and it was okay if Ron wanted to change something of these titles. That was okay for me. But we all throw this away, and Per came up and did new titles, new lyrics. And with these new lyrics and the new singer, we started to record the album completely over new. And yes, of course, there are parallels. And maybe we are at one day we will release the other recording as well. For me, it would be fine because it would be great for the listeners to see the development from everything, and maybe they explore new things on the first recording too. That's because that would be cool. But yeah, time will tell if this is possible in the future. Let's see. I don't know. I don't know yet. And thank you that you like the album so much, because it's not, yeah, it's not, you cannot expect it, because he, especially Max, recorded the album with his vocals. He did the bass was earlier in the period of the recording. But from 22 on, and then in February the war starts. He did the recordings for 15 months, each night, with all blackouts, with all the danger of being attacked, with all night shifts he did because of the alarming there and stuff like that. It's so insane.
It must be crazy for you to then, I mean, you like firsthand noticing this stuff. It's really
it was because there was silence. Sometimes there was silence of 6 weeks, and I didn't know if he's still there, And we cannot write each day, of course. He has something different in mind. He has a different life.
Yeah, but so you can't go, where are the tracks? Come on, boy. Come on, boy.
Yeah, the funny thing was he did Avenging Angel first, and he did the first verse, the bridge, and the chorus, I think. And he sounded, and it sounded already like on the album. There was no demo, never. Per and Max didn't send any demo lyrics or vocals. It was already ready produced on the point. We did some smaller changes maybe, or something like that, and maybe a little bit less reverb here, but 99% it was everything, or more, even more, it was finished. And it was so on the spot. He hit the spot so
he absolutely
nailed it, as you say in English.
It nailed it. Absolutely.
Incredible. And I was me and my wife was so blown away, because he sent me that file overnight from Saturday to Sunday. He was always working at night. I was sitting here often at 2 in the morning, and we chat. And he sent me a new version and stuff like that. I was working the whole night sometimes for 2 hours because I couldn't sleep. Or he sent me a message and said, "I will send you a new version later." And that triggered me. I couldn't go to sleep, and then I had to wake up at night, maybe 1 at night or 2 p.m., 2 a.m., sorry. And I had to check the mail, and then was something in the mailbox, and then I had to listen to it. Yeah,
you can't go back to sleep.
Oh no. It's really impossible. And at that day, on this Sunday, we listened to this part of music. It was maybe 1 minute or something like that, and we were so blown away. And even I know the songs in and out, as you say, I know them perfectly. It was a completely listening experience, even though we had also the vocal stuff with Ron, and I did many before Ron came, and I have all these on my phone where I try to sing along with this just to catch ideas, and like that. And but it sounds so different, and there were and the more songs he came up with, some I really had to get used to it, because it was for me a new listening experience, and some sound more familiar. Yeah, that's also the case.
Sometimes you have to give it a day.
Yeah.
Singing Randy, it's been great. Thanks for being with us, chatting to us. Listeners out there, check this album out. This is really solid, as we discussed earlier, in my mind at least, correct me if I'm wrong, very melodic power metal as it should be. And dare I say, very US influenced. So if that's up your alley, definitely check this band out and also check them out when they're near you. I will post some dates underneath as soon as the video is ready. And off we go. A good one.
Thank you, Johan.
Thanks,
Bye-bye. Take care, mate. Thank you for the chance having a chat with you. My pleasure.
Thank you.